Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to talk about the awesomeness of the new Genesys tabletop role-playing game system that has been put out by FFG Fantasy Flight Games. It is a universal role-playing system that allows you to play specifically with narrative dice, and man, is it cool. It's just so neat. I'm really loving it. So I just wanted to share a little bit with you my journey in starting with Genesys tabletop role-playing games, and just how joyous that this situation has been, because it really has. I really, truly, genuinely love tabletop role-playing games, and there are really few things in the world that are more exciting to me than a new core rulebook, right? Because with the core rulebook, you get to just see so much. You get to see, hey, here's new art, here's a new rule system, here is a new world, right? And what's even more exciting is when you see a new universal role-playing game system where it's saying, hey, here's the rules, you can run anything you want with it, right? And that's just like, it's an unlock of so many different worlds, right? And so when I saw Genesys TRPG coming out, I was really excited. It kind of snuck up on me. A buddy of mine was like, hey, I'm buying the Genesys tabletop role-playing game book. I'm getting the hard copy. And I was like, yeah, man. And I went over, and first I had to find my narrative dice. This uses the narrative dice from Star Wars, or you can buy the same dice with different symbols on it. It's exactly the same dice with new symbols, but you can run it with the Star Wars dice. I'm electing to use just my Star Wars dice because I have 7 sets of it, and everybody, all my players know how to use them. They're all incredibly familiar with the narrative dice system. They're all very comfortable with it, right? So one of the things is when I got this, right, my buddy, he's a really busy guy. He's a college student, and he's like, and he had all these ideas. He had like a firefighter idea to run a firefighter campaign. He wanted to run a Game of Thrones campaign. He wanted to run, at minimum, kind of a small story arc. And he wanted to run a Western game, and all these are, I'm like so excited. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm waiting. But the reality is, he just got jammed up with school, and he really couldn't run anything, right? So I was waiting to find my dice, and I found my dice, right? Found all 7 sets of my tabletop role-playing game. I immediately bought the PDF. I read through the PDF, and then I'm ready to go, right? I'm ready to run a game, and I just want to share with you, like, it was almost like it was just so wonderful to have this system, right? And I'm like, okay, I have a group of players. I actually am connected to about 20 or 30 people, all who play tabletop role-playing games. And so I can pull together 1 or 2 or 3 different groups and run a tabletop role-playing game for them. And I want 4 to 5 players at my table, right? Now I have a core group of people who I'm like, okay, we're going to run this. And what I do is I just create, I create my story arc. And these are like 1 to 3 sessions, very short, right? And I'm like, I'm running, and then I post it on Facebook. I'm like, here's the time, here's the rule system, here's the story, here's the game. Let's do this. You know what I mean? And also, I put the Facebook thing up there, and I put it up like a week out, right? And if people aren't being responsive, I'll just add more people on the invite until I fill that table. You know what I mean? And normally, now I've been very fortunate lately. I haven't had to reach out beyond my regular group. I've been able to pull together 4 or 5 players very, very easily. Now I'm definitely a very competent tabletop role-playing game. I'm definitely a very competent game master, but that's not all why people are responding. These systems that I've been running, like Index Card RPG and Fate and now Genesys, they're very inclusive, and they're and these are the games that are like, hey, jump in and play this game with us, and they're just so inviting and so helpful and just so fun that I really feel like it's kind of like shooting fish in a barrel. That's why I'm able to get to fill these games very, very quickly and have these fun games spun up, right? So what was really happening with this one is I said, okay, in order to pick my world, I literally sat there for like 25 minutes, and I was just like, what world do I want to run? And all these ideas were popping up in my head, and there were just so many, right? So I'm like, I could do a Fast and Furious game. Oh, that'd be really cool. And then I was like, Naruto. I've been, my son's been reading Naruto manga, and he's been watching anime, and I've been watching Swag Kage, who's a fantastic YouTuber who just breaks down everything there is to know about Naruto. I've been watching some Naruto episodes with my son, and I'm like, I could run a Naruto campaign, I could also run a Pokemon Obsidian game, and Pokemon Obsidian is this game I wanted to run for a long time, which is like Ash Ketchum at like 25, 30 years old, and the Pokemon world has erupted into war, and it's adults actually go into war with Pokemon, the Pokemon that they used to train with, and do those kind of things. And so it's kind of like a dark, gritty Pokemon campaign. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's really cool. I'd love to run that, right? Then I remembered one of the things I've been just absolutely fascinated with recently is Funko Pop. And I just want to tell you right now, okay? Get yourself Index Card RPG. Get yourself Fate. Get yourself Genesys, right? These, get yourself Cypher. Now they're great. These are all just beautifully, beautifully done universal role-playing systems, right? Any one of these. All you need is one of these games and Funko Pop, right? And I'm not talking about Funko Pop, the figures, right? I don't buy Funko Pop, but I'm absolutely fascinated by their brand at this point. And the reason why is Funko Pop has really done something that is just absolutely unprecedented in the history of mankind. And that is, they have so many properties under one house. There's never been anything like this, right? So they have video game properties, they have movie properties, they have television properties, they have DC and Marvel, they have Star Wars, all of it, right? And if you just go to Funko Pop's website, it will give you a list of every world they make figures with. Every single one of those worlds is a listing of the games that you can play with these universal role-playing systems and the settings that you can just jump right into. And every single one of those figures is an NPC or a PC option. It's amazing, right? And so I'm just so happy about this new Genesys tabletop role-playing game system. I've just had such a wonderful time this week getting ready for this game that I'm going to run on this Sunday. And I'm really excited. So I'll tell you which game I decided. So I actually decided Star Trek Next Generation. We're going to run a Star Trek Next Generation as our first Genesys TRPG story arc. I'm super excited about it. And so this whole week, you know what I did? I was just, so one, I posted this online, and I'm like, I invited my friends, and they're like, we're in, bet, this is awesome, let's do it, man. And I got, texts right away from them saying, hey, we're building our characters right now, and we're building ensigns and captain, and ensigns and, first officers and, and science crew team members and security crew team members. And they were excited, which made me excited. And then this week, you know what I've been doing in my head and just on paper and just getting ready for the game? I've been writing an episode of Star Trek Next Generation, that I'll be able to unfold this very week for my friends. And that is the beauty of tabletop role-playing games. That is the beauty of these new universal role-playing systems that allow you to run any setting you want. And that is the beauty of the new FFG Genesys system. It is awesome. It is exciting, and it is wonderful, and it made my life richer. It gave me a closer connection with my buddies this week, which was really nice, and it allowed me to write in a world that I love. And I just want to tell you, man, we are in a golden age of tabletop role-playing games. And, if you're out there and you love stories, start writing stories with these new awesome tools and just make your worlds, cool and make all of this, super cool. This is like, we just really are living in an awesome, wonderful time. And I just wanted to share with you, just the joy that the Genesys tabletop role-playing game gave me this week. Truly a 5 out of 5 star game. I cannot recommend purchasing it enough. Take care.